Hey guys, it's Sal. In this video, I'm going to disclose one of my best personal scalping strategies. Not only it produces decent results, but the good news is that I've done zero optimization on it. That means it has a very low chance of being overfit. And I really like that, and it even gives me confidence to add the size of the position. Before adding leverage to it, it has a max drawdown of -6% over the last year, which is absolutely amazing. So anyways, let's get right into it. The main indicator of this strategy is the Ichimoku Cloud. So let's add it to our chart. Alright, this green line here is pretty much useless, so I'm gonna remove that. Alright, the entry rule of the strategy is very simple. We want to go long when the trend here is bullish. Now, what do I mean by that? I need the conversion line, which is this blue line here, to be above the baseline, which is this red line, right? And you can see an example of that happening in here. However, we don't go long just yet. We need confirmation. And for that, we wait until the cloud itself, which is made of two lines, a span A and a span B, right? We need this also to show us an uptrend. And that didn't happen until here. So this would have been where we would have gone long in this strategy. Now in this example, you might be thinking, oh, wouldn't it have been better if we went long here? Well, yeah, it would have, but this is an easy example. Trust me, there's going to be lots of situations where there would have been a false breakout, but because we have confirmation, we wouldn't have fallen into those traps. And for a short position, we would just do the opposite. All right, so let's go to Jesse and create a new strategy. I'm gonna name it Cloud Scalper. Next, I'm gonna open my VS Code editor, which is way smarter than Jesse's built-in editor. And I'm gonna look for it, Cloud Scalper. Now first, I'm gonna define a new property and I'm gonna call it trend. Now in it, I'm gonna define the Ichimoku Cloud, and we can do that simply by saying C equals TA dot Ichimoku Cloud. And I'm just gonna pass the current candles. And even though we can pass some parameters, I'm not gonna do that because I wanna make sure that the strategy is as simple as possible to lower the chance of overfitting the strategy. All right, when would it be an uptrend? I'm gonna say if C dot, and as I mentioned on the chart, I wanna make sure the conversion line is above the baseline, right? But I also want to make sure that the span A is above the span B. Again, as I described it here. So this is the conversion line, this is the baseline, this is span A, and this is span B. All right, if this is the case, I want to return 1. If it's the other way around, I want to return -1. And if it's neither, I want to simply return 0. All right, for the entry rule, I want to simply say if the current trend equals 1. For my short entry, I want to say the opposite. So return true if the current trend equals -1. Let's also remove this comment code and also this one. Let's say the entry rule is met and I want to enter a position. The entry price is going to be the current price because I want to open the position using a market order. And as for the quantity of the order or my position, I want to risk 3% of my total capital. And we can calculate that very easily using Jesse's risk to quantity utility function. The first thing that it needs is the current capital, and I'm gonna pass the current available margin. The second is the risk per capital, and I'm gonna pass 3%. And next we have the entry price, so I'm gonna pass entry, and then we need the stop loss. Now I forgot to do that, so let's do that here. Now for the stop loss, I want it to be the entry price minus the ATR indicator, which I can get by saying TA.ATR and then simply passing the current candles. And again, I'm not gonna change the parameters. And I want to multiply that by 2.5 because I don't want the stop loss to be very close to the entry price because then we're gonna miss out on so many good opportunities. All right, so now that we have the stop, I can pass it here. And next we have the precision, which I'm not gonna touch here, but for the fee rate, I'm gonna pass the fee rate of the current exchange that I'm trading. Right, now that we have both the price and the quantity, I can simply say self buy equals quantity and then the entry price. As my go short method, I'm gonna do the opposite. So again, using the entry price, the stop is now entry plus 2.5 times of the current ATR because it's for a short position. And then for the quantity, I did exactly the same. However, instead of calling the self.buy to submit the order, I'm using self.sell. Right, now what about taking profit? For that, I'm gonna use the on open position method, which will be executed as soon as the position is open. And in it, I'm gonna say this. If is for a long position, which we can get by saying if self.is long. In it, I'm gonna say this. Self.takeProfit equals, now this is again an order, so we need both the quantity and the price. As for the quantity, I'm gonna say the current position, its quantity, and then as the price, I'm gonna say this, the current price, whatever it may be, minus the current ATR, again I pass the candles, multiplied by 3.2. Now notice that our profit margin is being a little bit more than our risk, which means we're gonna make more money on our winning trades than we would be losing on our losing trades. Now this was the take profit, but what about the stop loss? Because yes, I specified the stop price here because I needed to use it here, but I didn't submit the stop loss order ever. And I could have done that here, by the way. In Jesse, you can submit both the stop loss and the take profit right inside your go long or go short position. But the problem is that you can only do that for futures trading, not for stop trading. So as a result, I've learned to always do it inside my open position method. Alright, so next I'm gonna say self stop loss equals the quantity of the current position, and the price is going to be the current price minus 2.5 times the current ATR. And next I'm gonna say if it's a short position, I simply want to do the opposite. Now we have both the entry rule and the exit rule of the strategy, and also the position sizing. So now we can start the first backtest. So let's go back to Jesse and open the backtesting section, and I'm gonna choose Cloud Scalper, and I'm picking the 15 minutes time frame BTC USDT on Binance Perpetual Futures, and the duration is since the beginning of 2024 up until yesterday. I've turned on the fast mode and also the benchmark. Now it didn't execute any backtest. So let's check out our entry rule. Right, here's the issue. In here, I said when the span A is bigger than span A, it should have been B. Alright, let's go back and rerun it one more time. And there we go. This chart doesn't seem normal. It seems like it's not actually closing the position. So let's go back to the code and check our exit rules. So, okay, so you see the take profit for a long position, it should have been plus the current ATR. And for a short position, it should have been minus. Alright, so let's go back and rerun it one more time. Right, so there we go. Now this is natural. You see, we're not doing well against the market, and the reason is we're taking too many trades. You see, we traded more than 1,000 times and we paid more than $6,000 in trading fees. And of course, all the numbers don't look good. However, I didn't expect to be profitable just yet, because you can never find a good strategy by using simply one indicator. Alright, let's go back to the chart. Now, the first thing that I like to use with this type of strategies is the ADX indicator. So let's add it to our chart. Alright, so you see, this is the ADX. And the way the ADX works is that when its value is going up, it means that the trend in market is getting stronger. And when it's low, it means we are more likely in a ranging market. So I want to set a threshold at 50, and I only want to take trades when the ADX is above this threshold. So let's go back to the code, and I'm going to define a new property, and I'm going to call it ADX. And in it, I will say this: return true if ta.ADX, and then I will pass the current candles. I want its value to be above 50. That's it. And then I will go back to the should long method, and I will simply say and self.ADX, and I will do that also for my short position. So let's go back to Jesse and rerun the backtest one more time. There we go. So you see, it's not doing as bad as before, because the number of trades, instead of being more than 1,000, it is now 129, which is still too high, by the way. But anyways, the max drawdown is minus 22, which is really good even at this point. All right, now I also want to do something else just to make sure that we are trading with the best time frame. Let's also add another backtest for the time frame of 30 minutes and another one for the hourly. And just so we can see the results very quickly. Oh, by the way, in this one, we're actually making some profit. Not bad. And with this one, we're doing even better. All right, so let's open the benchmark so we can see all the results simultaneously. Now, the hourly, let's add the time frame to this table. All right, so the hourly is actually already doing great. Its max drawdown is minus 8.5. So I really like this. So I'm just gonna make a copy of this. The results of the hourly time frame already look really great. So even though I want to continue, I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna copy the code, and in Jesse I will create a new strategy and I will call it Cloud Scalper 1 hour hourly, and I will just paste it here. All right, let's go back to the chart and add the next indicator that I'm going to use, which is BBW, or a Bollinger Band width. I'm gonna pick this one. You see, the value of the BBW, it goes up when the fluctuation in the price is also high, and then it comes down when we are again in a range market. Now, even though this is a trend following strategy, I don't want to take a long position when the price has already gone up very fast, very quickly. So I don't want its value to be more than 5. In these examples that you can see on the chart, the value for it is actually below 5. So we will still take these trades. But recently I've found that when I add this very simple filter, it improves my results. So I'm gonna back to the code and add another filter. And I'm gonna say property and then BBW, and in it I will say return true when the current BBW is more than 5%. Now I'm gonna make this into 5, and then just to make sure this value is between 0 and 100, I will multiply it by 100 to get the same result that I would on TradingView. Next I will go to my entry rule and simply add this, and also here. So let's go back to Jesse. Let's open the benchmark page and rerun all the values. All right, we're getting an error. It is saying that BBW doesn't exist. Okay, let's see. BBW. Okay, it is called Bollinger Bands width. Let's go back to the benchmarking page and rerun everything. Now, while that is going, I want to show you guys my favorite DEX called Apex, which has instant order execution, 0 trading gas fees, and very low trading fees. The liquidity is also fine, and most importantly, because it is a DEX, you don't need KYC or register or anything. You just simply connect your MetaMask wallet and you start trading. If you're going to sign up, please consider using our link, which will give you 5% trading fee discounts. And most importantly, it will support me and my videos, which I would really appreciate. All right, things got a little better in the 15 minutes, but not so much in the 30 and the hourly. All right, next I want to use a very simple indicator, the EMA, which I'm sure all of you guys already know. So let's open it, the moving average exponential. Let's remove this one and also hide the Ichimoku Cloud. And I'm gonna change its period from the default, which is 9 to 200. However, I won't simply use it like this, trading the current time frame. I wanted to trade the anchor time frame, which if I want to do it on TradingView, I should go to the settings, and here we can change the time frame from the chart to something else. And I want it to be 4 hours. So you see, now this line will move very slowly. So it won't just jump on a trade as soon as the price moves towards a certain direction. So let's go back to Jesse. So first, I want to define a new property. So I will say property def big candles. We could also call it anchor candles, doesn't really matter. And in it, I will say return self get candles. The first parameter is the current exchange. Next, it is the current symbol. And as for the time frame, I will pass 4 hours. Now I can define the EMA that I needed. So I'm gonna say long-term trend, and no, it is not using that. I'm gonna say return 1 if TA EMA, and instead of passing the current candles, now I will pass the big candles. And as for its period, I will set number 200. So actually, I want to say if the current price is above the current EMA, return 1, else return -1 for a downtrend. All right, so now I can go back to my entry rule and add it here, and one more time for the short position. Now let's go back to Jesse, the benchmarking page, and rerun everything one more time. All right, so the result doesn't look good, but I actually went back and realized that I made another mistake in the source code. So you see in here, I wanted the BBW to be below 5, not more than that. So let's go back and rerun everything one more time. All right, so the hourly looks incredibly good, although the sharp isn't as high as the 15 minutes. So you see, so on the 15 minutes time frame, this looks fantastic. This P&L is good. The max drawdown of -6% is absolutely amazing. The win rate is at 60%. The sharp ratio is 2. The calmer ratio is 5. So this looks very promising and good. All right, now you might be asking yourself, okay, you say this is good, but we're not even beating the market. Well, here's the thing. Yes, we didn't make as much as the market, but the max drawdown of our equity curve is extremely low, which means this allows me to add to the size of my position without worrying. And that is why the sharp ratio and the calmer ratio are so good, even though we haven't beaten the market. So let's go back to the source code and go to the go long method. Now, if I simply multiply my quantity by a number such as, let's say 3, actually, let's do 4. And rerun everything just one last time. All right, so let's go back to the equity curve. You see, now we are indeed beating the market. And yet my max drawdown is -23%. So, and this isn't even the maximum risk that I'm willing to take. Up until -30% is perfectly fine for me. So I can even go back and multiply this by, let's say 5. And run it again. All right, so now with a max drawdown of -28%, which is still fine, we are definitely beating the market. We made 223% profit in almost 1 year. The max drawdown is awesome. The expectancy is 2.5%. The win rate, of course, is the same. And so are the sharp and the calmer. They are slightly changed, but it doesn't really matter. Now, the 30 minutes also looks good, but not as good as the 15 minutes. So I think it's fine to retire this one. The hourly doesn't look bad, but I don't think it looks as good as the one that we had before. So let's also try backtesting this one using Cloud Scalper hourly, the one that I created earlier. So let's also backtest this one. So this does look good, but the max drawdown is too low. So to get better P&L, I can also multiply this by a number such as 3 at least. So let's go and find the Cloud Scalper hourly. Let's find the quantity and multiply this by 3. Let's rerun it. Okay, this does look better, but the max drawdown is at -24%. Not as big as this. Let's go to the benchmark. So you see, if instead of looking at the P&L, we look at the sharp ratio or even the calmer ratio, we can clearly see which one is the winner. The 15 minutes is the winner because it has the highest sharp ratio and the calmer ratio, even though the hourly still looks pretty fine to me. I'm gonna leave it at here because the strategy is performing extremely well without me even optimizing it in any way, which is great because it lowers the chance of the strategy getting overfit. I'm gonna submit this strategy to our strategies index page so you guys can see the results for other time frames or time periods in time. I will also try my best to create a premium version of this strategy and also submit it to our strategies page. Now before I leave, we're gonna have a giveaway. A random person who likes this video, posts a comment and subscribes to the channel is going to win 1 million bank token. Right, let's pick the winner for the previous video. And the winner is, wow, I'm blown away. This is your best video ever. I'd love to follow up video. Thank you. Thank you so much for your positive comment. Please reach out to me so that I can send you your bank tokens. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.